So I will share my slide now. Okay, boleh nampak?
Boleh, Dr.
Alright. So today is week 3 of your class. The course is teaching and learning strategies for 21st century learners. The topic today would be loss of learning. And I am actually from Yayasan Pendidikan Khalifah lah. Yeah. A little bit about myself, so that you know who is teaching you today. My name Dr. Alini Marzuki. A long time ago, I got my degree in biochemistry, undergraduate, and then I did my PhD in pharmacology, University of Georgia, in the States. For 5 years, Faculty of Medicine and Faculty of Pharmacy, and then I took optional retirement, and I joined University of Cyberjaya for the next how many 11 years. Now currently I'm chairman of the foundation. I'm also director of the company that runs the school, Khalifah School Sendirian Berhad. So that's a bit about my background. So I don't have any psychology background. I learned this Khalifah method from the founder. And then we have got this project, and then we set up the school to introduce the approach Khalifah method. And Alhamdulillah, now for the 3rd year, we are sharing this knowledge with our PGDE student in collaboration with Uni Raza. Yeah? So this program that you all have registered for, PGDE, would be special because this is the only program in the whole wide world that covers this Khalifah method approach. Okay, so what in my lecture today, I will cover 3 components. Firstly, our personality construct and empowerment through inner speech. And then I will cover a little bit fundamental laws of learning, and then the shaping process. How come? Okay. Actually, I think Datin has shared this in your Eurox, right? This is the reference material for you. If you are interested to read further, then you can read this material. Yeah, that effective Islamic parenting. Apologize for it being a bit blur. Effective Islamic parenting covers a lot of the law of learning that I shared today, and even more. That's why I share this reference so that you, if you're interested, you can read further. Yeah. Then autobiography of Professor Muhammad Al-Mahdi, the founder of Khalifah Method. Also very interesting for you to read further if you're interested. And on being Khalifah of Allah, also covered a lot of learning. Simply psychology, this on operant conditioning is a brief introduction on operant conditioning, which I will cover a little bit in our lecture as well. So this would be your reference material. Further reading if you are interested. Okay, this announcement requested by the admin. You need to write your full name in Zoom because this is how we capture your attendance. Yeah. So Uni Razak would require to see the full name when we process the Zoom punya attendance. So I hope all of you would write your full name. Yeah. If we don't capture, then it's like you have not attended the class. And the other thing that I like to share would be about the quiz, which is part of your assessment. Yeah. I think you have been told there'll be some written assignment, presentation. There's also quiz portion. Yeah. So the quiz will cover topics from week 3, which is today, and week 4, which is the next week. And I think the quiz will be given uh, at the end of just before week 5. Yeah. So that will cover 20% for your quiz. Okay, maybe now back to taking picture boleh? Semua orang dah ada ke tak? So I will stop share. Kau sama. Okay dah, tambah sikit. Okay, we need to take some pictures so that we know who our students are. Yeah? Dah lah jumpa sekali je dalam kursus ni kan. And then we don't have any evidence of you kan, or me. Okay, so this is request from Yayasan lah. So can everybody turn on your camera and we'll take a quick picture and then we will go back to the lecture. Okay. Aisyah, Ashikin, Badaria. Okay, and Badaria. Oh, that's you, Badar. Sorry. How do you student nama Badaria? uh, apa ni, Puan Badaria will be the next speaker. Rajinnya attend dari awal ya. Okay, so kita ada 1, 2, 3, 4. -3 ni. 12 minus 3 je. 16 minus 3. Okay, Hanisa, you can take picture ya.
Okay, Doctor.
1, 2, 3. Say something. Done again. I print screen as well. Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Hanisa dah ke?
Dah, Doktor.
All right, thank you. So thank you everybody for your cooperation. So we go back to the class balik. I go back to my sharing of my slide. Yeah. Okay, this is to recap. Okay. Some of you are new to this program, right? You did not get to attend the first semester. For Khalifah method, we cover over 2 topics. The first one was psychology, and this time around would be that 21st century learning. So on Khalifah method, the foundation knowledge of Khalifah method is based on these 2 foundation. Yeah. This is what Khalifah method is about. If you are to give anybody, individual or social group, just 2 things, that individual or group will move naturally toward everything good and right. So in other words, we say, if you give these 2 things, if you are going toward excellence in this world and hereafter, you need these 2 things. Number 1 would be the correct worldview, which the late professor described as it has to be a positive, accurate, motivational worldview. And which, if we look at what encompass positive, accurate, motivational, it will be back to a God-centered worldview. And for a Muslim, we go back to based on Islam, worldview based on Islam for a Muslim, because this will encompass the positive, accurate, motivational worldview. The second component that you require to move toward excellence will be a good understanding of the laws of learning. And this determine how we develop as human. So today we will cover this part of the requirement for foundation knowledge for Khalifah method, which is to understand the laws of learning. Okay, so the first part is to understand how we become who we are, which the late professor described as your personality construct. And also we'll cover about empowerment through inner speech. Okay, so far okay ke? Am I going fast tak? Okay.
Okey,
Boleh
Doktor.
eh?
Okey.
Okay.
Okey, boleh.
Okay.
Okay. Because I'm concerned takut tak sempat habis ya. Okay, firstly, uh, apa ni, every child, we need to realize that every one of us, every child is born in a pure state. Based on this hadith from Abu Hurairah, the Prophet ﷺ said, every child is born pure, which is in the state of fitrah. It is his parents who make him a Jew or a Christian or a polytheist. This would be a general statement. Yeah. So from here we see that we all were born as a child in a pure state. Yeah. If we are to make a comparison, it would be like pure state means like a clean piece of white cloth. Then influences gets written on this, which we call consciousness lah, your jiwa. Things get written, and whatever gets written, the warna, the kain putih ini, whatever that is colored, that determines who you are. Yeah. So this is the first law of development lah. We are born in a state of fitrah, which is pure soul, pure consciousness. Then messages get written in this pure consciousness, and whatever that gets written, that is who we are. Yeah. In this hadith, it is focused on parents, the one mostly responsible to write messages in our consciousness. But it's not just parents, but parents make up the most important influence. We have got other influence as well. Yeah. So firstly, I hope you can recognize that we are all born pure state, and things get written, messages get written on our consciousness, and whatever gets written, that is who we are. Yeah. So the important question that we will ask, what are the influences that writes in our consciousness? Then we will know how we become what we are. Yeah. Okay, so this is to illustrate we are born pure soul, and then messages are written. The messages that are written is referred to as our total past learning history. And whatever gets written, this is who we are. Yeah. And the next question is, what are the influences that write messages in our consciousness that determine who we are? So the late professor in his study, he summarized the influence as only having three influences. There are only three influences that write messages in our consciousness. Yeah. And this make up our personality construct. And this is how a human being learns. Okay. So there are only three sources of influence. If you can see from the slide, the first source is what? A physical influence. The second one, social influence. And the third influence is referred to as inner speech. Yeah. And whatever that gets written is called total past learning history, and this determines our characteristic. There are many influences that would write messages in our mind, but we summarize into three types of influence. Yeah? Physical influence, social, and inner speech. And the influence that comes in, that got written in our consciousness, it doesn't go in directly. It goes through sort of a filter, which we call perception, yeah, which is our perception. This perception is built from our past experience, determined by our total past learning history. And this perception is also connected to our inner speech. Yeah. So this perception, dia bertindak sebagai like a filter that filter the message that comes in. Whatever message that comes in, you will filter it first. you will decide whether this is what you want or whether you will block it. So if you recall from our last lecture in philosophy, the worldview, this perception actually is our worldview. Yeah, perception is actually our worldview. And what we want to develop, this perception will be for a Muslim and Islamic worldview. So that whatever influence that come in, we filter it through the lens of Islamic values. Yeah, and this perception, like I said, is referring to our worldview. That's how these two things are connected in Khalifah method. Yeah, you have to have two things to go to develop toward excellence, the correct worldview, because it determines what gets filtered, and to understand the law of learning. Okay. So what is a physical influence? Anything that we can perceive using our five senses. Yang kita boleh nampak, boleh rasa, ya, itu make up our the physical factor, physical influence. Di sini, if you see macam maybe dulu lah kot, do you have this experience of mandi sungai? Ya, ini macam dulu-dulu kot di kampung-kampung adalah kan. Tapi macam bandar tak salah kot ada pengaruh ini. Can you see that if you have got this experience in childhood, it will determine how you grow up, right? Yeah. So this make up a physical influence. Kalau kat kota mungkin you have got high speed train, all that also will determine your characteristic lah. Yeah. So physical factor is anything like food, clothing, cars, all these things makes up physical factor. It used to be physical influence taklah sangat main peranan yang besar. It used to be. But now, with social media, this everything is brought to everybody's attention. So you're influenced a lot by what you see of these physical things that people are having. So you get influenced very much through this exposure. So clothing becomes important issue. Food, cars, all these things. Kalau dulu taklah sangat, but now it is actually, it plays an important factor in determining how we become what we are. The next will be what? Social influence. How will you remember social influence? If kata social influence, to what comes to your mind? Social refers to what? Boleh jawab tak? Just jawab je.
Environment, society.
Yeah, social, nak ingat simple lah ya. Supaya kita macam jelas, clear betul. Social means influence from another human being. Yeah. Social influence means an influence that comes from another human being. So that is social influence. And social influence kita ada dua, two types. Firstly, it is direct social influence, which is the human being yang direct tu lah. Kalau hadis tadi, it refers to our parents. Memang parents has the highest influence on us. And then of course teachers. This is yourself lah. Teachers has a big influence on students. And so we have got another lecture after mine that will cover on the role of teachers. Because teachers has a big role in the development, in the upbringing of children as well, which is yourself. That's why you need to really get the knowledge so that you are able to be a good influence on your students. And then your friends, your peers, and lain-lain lagi lah. Peers ni maybe masa remaja tu dia jadi sangat penting. Parents dah jadi secondary. But if parents were from the beginning to play their role correctly, parents will always be the most important influence that children look out for. Teachers also has a very big potential to be a good influence. And then all other people will have will make up social influence, which is direct influence. And we have got indirect influence. Indirect social influence. Indirect is started out as a physical influence, but it has got human input in it. and it becomes an indirect social influence because there is also a human factor in that influence. Can you name example of an indirect social influence, you think? Kalau saya tunjuk gambar nanti awak dah tahu lah. The next slide ada gambar. Anybody? Trash out some answer?
Social media?
Social media, very good. The source, how do you get your social media? Through what source? From what? You need to have what in order to access your social media?
Internet.
Internet. Before that?
Handphone.
Huh?
Gadget.
Handphone, yeah? Handphone is a good example of indirect social influence. If your battery is out, can you get anything on from your handphone? Your battery dah kong, tak ada battery. So your handphone tu jadi apa? Just a piece of metal, nothing, kan? But when you turn it on, charge balik, dapat balik, then you open your internet and you get to social media, all the human influence will come in. Yeah, so that's why it is an indirect, because it started off as a physical thing, but then it has got human input when you turn it on. Yeah, so that's very good example. Okay, used to be sebab saya dah lama dalam bidang ni kan. Last time when I ask people what would be the most important indirect social influence, what do you think was the answer?
TV?
TV, betul. Dulu TV is everywhere in people's house and people would watch TV all the time. So it become a very, very important indirect social influence. But now TV no more kan? It's your
Betul.
it's your
Sekarang
it's your
TikTok.
handphone lah ya. TikTok. Like this is referring to what? This buku is supposed to be a book. How kalau buku ni initially dia apa dia? Make up of what? Paper and ink sahaja kan? And then we have got words written. Words are from human influence. So that's how it becomes indirect. Yeah? Okay, can we control the social influence, especially this indirect social influence? Is it within our control to limit it, to not have it? Boleh tak, you think? You
Boleh.
can control by not having a phone, good. But can you do it? Or can you control what comes out, the content in your social media? Can you control that or not?
Content tak boleh.
Yes.
Limit boleh
We
kot.
cannot control the content, kan? So actually, we don't have a control over this indirect social influence. It becomes a challenge, a big challenge to us that influence us, and we have no control over it. Yeah. So this also you need to realize when you deal with your students, this indirect social influence pose a very big challenge, and overall we don't have much influence lah unless we control ourselves lah kan, tapi we cannot have a control on what comes, what the content that come out. Then we have got the last one is, remember the third factor, the third influence, inner speech. Yeah, when I say inner speech, do you already have something in mind? Understand or not when we say inner speech? What is it, inner speech?
Our thought.
Our thoughts. Okay, correct. Apa lagi? Thoughts.
Kata
make up your inner
hati.
speech.
Hati.
Ya, kata hati is the translation. What is it?
Something kita cakap dekat diri kita sendiri.
Yes, very good. Things that you say to yourself, your thoughts. And satu lagi apa dia? Ni a bit andaian,
Perception.
perception. That one is a bit that one more like your thoughts juga lah kan?
Angan-angan,
Huh?
angan-angan,
So
impian,
impian, nak classify macam mana tu ya? So kalau kita kata things that you say to yourself, very clear, right? Your thoughts, whatever you think lah, impian semua tu will be through your thoughts lah kan? If you say your feelings, Is that a different component? Feeling is lain from thoughts kan? Feeling. Of course, you cannot name feeling, but you feel lah kan? So actually, a broad definition of inner speech is anything that you say to yourself, your thoughts, and your feelings. Everything that goes on inside us is inner speech. Yeah, that would be the broad explanation. The one that we can relate a lot would be, but we talk to ourselves lah, just within ourselves. You realize not you talk to yourself? You do. Kan macam you take for granted. You tak fikir pun about this thing that you talk to yourself. But today, this one is a big deal that you have to really know about inner speech. Yeah. So we define inner speech is anything that you say to yourself, your feelings and your thoughts, like how I said just now. Yeah. How do we get our inner speech? How is it that we are able to talk to ourselves? What makes us able to talk to ourselves? What is it that we have that we can talk to ourselves? Senang ke susah ni? You realize that we have language. Allah give us symbolic language. We have ability to name things. Bahasa. Yeah? Symbolic language too is a divine gift. It is from your creator that humans are able to have symbolic language, words. Yeah? If I say door, pintu, you already know what it is, right? It's just a word, but you already know that it refers to the door. So this is ability to have language is actually a divine gift. It is wahyu dari Allah sebenarnya, ability to talk. So when we have symbolic language, that is where we are able to have also inner speech. I will come back to that one later. We have got the ability, Allah gave us ability to have symbolic language. Do animals have symbolic language? Can animals talk?
Oh,
They don't have symbolic language. Maybe they communicate lah, but they don't have ability to have language. Yeah? With symbolic language, we are able to have inner speech. And when we have inner speech, we can make choices. And we have free will. And this is very unique to human. We cover this masa, I think the last lecture lah kan, under philosophy, that human has got free will. We are free to choose. That's why it is so difficult for us to manage people, because everyone has got free will. They have got this ability to choose. Of course, Allah wants us to choose as how He had designed for us. Itu yang kita kata our motto, amar ma'ruf nahi munkar. Yeah, choose whatever Allah asks you to do and refrain from what He asks us not to do. But so this is the ability of human lah. Yeah. So this is something that we have to appreciate in everybody that we are dealing with. Your students have got free will. With the free will, they can make choices. And their choice may not be as how you want them to choose. But your creativity will be, it's the challenge how you want to direct them that they will choose as how you want them to choose, which is, yeah. So this is how we will cover as well. Another ayat in Surah Ar-Rahman, Allah said that dia ajar manusia kata-kata, ya, ayat 4 tu. Ya. Okay, what about this? Kita kata anything that you say to yourself, you're feeling your thought. So under this, the hidayah or guidance from Allah comes to you through your inner speech. Yeah. On the other hand, the opposite of it, whispers of shaitan, influence of shaitan also will come to you through your inner speech. So you have to just be aware that you need to make the right choice, because there's both. Yeah? All right. Good. Maybe we can dwell a little bit more on inner speech so that we understand it fully, because this is a very important factor under Khalifah method. If you can answer some of this question, how fast do we say things with our inner speech? Cepat tak kita kata in inner speech?
Yes.
Zap kan? You say.
Betul.
Betul, huh? You say things very fast. Is there a limit to what we say to ourselves in inner speech?
No?
No limit. Say anything. Yeah, who is to know? Kan? There is no limit to what you say to yourself. You say only good things. Of course not lah kan?
Tak.
A lot of the times, you say a lot of bad things. Why? Nobody knows, right? But Allah knows what you forget. So we say anything, good or bad, yeah, with our inner speech. And then who knows our inner speech? I gave you the answer already kan? Who knows our inner speech?
Allah.
Diri sendiri dan
Allah.
Allah.
Yes, our own self and Allah and no one else because it goes inside us, yeah? But a lot of the time we also forgot that Allah knows, yeah? Hopefully after you go through this, you are aware. You'll be aware, more aware lah. Whatever you say to yourself, Allah knows, kan? And who control our inner speech? Who controls our inner speech?
Diri sendiri.
Siapa yang kawal? Siapa kawal?
Diri sendiri ke?
Diri sendiri lah kan? Betul? You agree?
I
Yalah
think so.
kan? So you are the one who control what you say to yourself. You can say many things. In the end, maybe you choose one to follow. Salahnya. So it is very much under your control. Yeah? And this is very important for you to realize because we control our inner speech. Yeah? And we can choose to say whatever because it is very much under our control. Earlier, when I asked about the social influence, that one we have got, especially the social media semua tu, we have no control over what comes on the social media. Yeah? But inner speech is very much under our control. And so, if you recall this diagram, we have got the third influence, the right message in our consciousness, is our inner speech. Yeah? And all of you agree that we control our inner speech. Right? Can we now choose to say the right thing with our inner speech and write the right message, the correct message? And then we become a good individual, good person. Because whatever we say, right message in our mind and determine who we become. And one of the influence is inner speech. And inner speech is very much under our control. So then we can choose to say the right thing. And then write the right message and be the right person. Now you've got no excuse not to be a good person, right? But it's a big challenge lah kan? You have to make that choice, which is very challenging. But this is very important to realize. So you cannot say that I cannot help it. But it's very much you who make the choice. Yeah. So this is very powerful tool that we have, that we are in control of, and we can actually So what can we use this inner speech as a teacher? We can teach our student. They have got this tool, and they can actually use this inner speech to direct them to the right behavior. So teachers can actually share this knowledge with students, tell them that they have got this inner speech, and they can make the choice. And then they can be moving toward the right thing as well. Yeah? Okay. Any question on inner speech? Actually, I said a big deal, right? Inner speech is a big deal. There's quite a lot of uses or roles for inner speech. Can you guess what we can use inner speech for? Already kita discuss a little bit tadi kan? So what is the role of inner speech? Yeah?
To make good choice.
To make choices. Yeah?
Make choice.
In general, make choices. Hopefully it's good choice. But actually, inner speech is used for us to make choice. We are able to make choice because we have got inner speech. Very good. Apa lagi? Maybe this one, maybe actually rewarding yourself. Yeah? Banyak tak you reward yourself by talking to yourself and you reward yourself? To say good things about you lah. Yeah, I've done good today, Masya Allah. So happy with myself. Ada tak cakap to yourself like that? Ada kan? Oh, I'm so happy. I control
Motivate.
myself. I didn't
Motivate
buy that.
ourselves.
You reward yourself too. Yeah? So self-reward. This is also a very big deal that we have to. So inner speech we use to reward ourselves. Yeah? Make choices, like you said tadi. Determine our action lah. From the choice, it determine our action. Yeah? Apa lagi? So empowerment lah. Empower yourself. Yeah? Empower means you now are able to make the right choice and be in a position to decide how you become. Empowerment. Dan tadilah ya, pujuk diri, pacify, semua tu, assure self, bila down ke apa, it is your inner speech that you use to sort of motivate yourself back. Yeah? So it's also use of inner speech. Apa lagi that you can think of with your inner speech?
Reflection.
Yes, muhasabah. Muhasabah. We are encouraged to muhasabah a lot. And muhasabah can be done only because we have got inner speech lah. Okay? Reflection, muhasabah. What else? What is application? Apa maksud application? I ask because I used to teach this course dekat Cyberjaya and it comes in the soalan and they don't understand what supplication is. Supplication means making doa, doa. Yeah, make doa. Kan, we make doa, sometimes you takut-takut tu kan, to yourself and making doa, that can be, and then taubat lah, repentance, making taubat. Also, you use inner speech for that. So you can see role of inner speech. Okay, this is an example. I make sure. Kita habis berapa? 3:30. Okay. Okay, an example of how inner speech determine our action. And this one, it determine negatively. It can be positive or negative depending on your inner speech is right or wrong. Yeah. So inner speech can be right, can be wrong. So gambar ni adalah apa? 3 student sedang vaping ya. Katalah Amir kebetulan ternampak kawan dia 3 orang sedang vape. Sebelum ni Amir tak tahu that kawan dia isap vape. Bila Amir first time nampak kawan dia isap vape, he will have inner speech in himself, right? He will say things to himself when he saw his friend from afar, nampak jauh. And then he will say something to himself, ya. Apa mungkin wrong inner speech yang Amir kata pada diri dia bila nampak 3 orang kawan isap vape ni? Can you give example of wrong inner speech? Amir may say to himself when he saw his friend vaping.
Macam sedap je.
Faham tak soalan saya?
Rasa apa? Okay.
Wrong inner speech. Rasa apa ya? It could be something curious kan? Curious. Rasa apa tu ya? Rasa macam mana agaknya? Okay. What else?
Nak try.
Macam nak try juga Aku pun nak try juga. Something like that Maybe he said that to himself kan? One more example.
Macam macho je isap vape.
Macam macho je kan? So betul lah your answer semua tu why is it wrong in a speech? Betul lah jawapan tu betul. So kenapa all those things are example of wrong in the speech?
Sebab lead to bad action.
Wrong action lah.
Wrong action.
Lead to bad action. Or it leads to bad action or it leads to wrong action. So betul lah tu kata Oh, macam maco je. Aku nak try juga. So, kalau kebetulan kawan dia bagi, dia cubalah kan. Kalau dengan with that kind of inner speech, you will accept that offer lah. Bila I may try, more wrong inner speech dia kata dekat diri dia. Betul lah, bestnya. Macam dia kata gitu kan. Lepas tu, sekarang pun aku popular sebab aku isap vape ni. So that will lead to more wrong action. Meaning more vaping. And it can lead to a habit. So this example of from the wrong inner speech, the outcome will be leading to wrong action. Same scenario, tapi nak Ahmad pula. Ahmad kebetulan nampak kawan dia sabit, pernah dia tahu pun, terkejut dia. Lepas tu bila dia nampak, dia pun ada inner speech. Diri Ahmad So, apa mungkin right inner speech yang Ahmad kata dekat diri dia bila nampak kawan dia sabit?
Mak kata jangan isap vape. Macam tu. Dia teringat mak.
Bagusnya. Mak kata jangan isap kan. Masya Allah kan. Very strong, very powerful message tu kan. Mak kata jangan isap. Okay. Another example.
Masya Allah, bawa mengucap Ahmad.
Bawa mengucap. Okay. Kan? Salah tu buat mengucap lah. Kenapalah dia ni buat macam tu kan. Tapi Allah sedihnya dah lah family dia miskin. Isap vape pula. Something like that lah kan. So all those are correct inner speech. Right inner speech that Ahmad say to himself. Kalau dia kata macam tu kat diri dia, you think kalau kawan dia offer vape tu, dia ambil tak? Tadi astagfirullah, takkan dia nak ambil kan? Dia ambil lah kan? So kalau dia lagi hebat, dia boleh advise kawan dia lah. So you can see from inner speech, and whether it is right inner speech or wrong inner speech, your action will be different. So now kita nak pastikan we only say right inner speech, so that it will lead to right action. So this one you can further nanti can fikir-fikir lah. Yeah? Macam Ahmad ni kan, yang dia kata isap vape, lepas tu macam Masya Allah, salah kesiannya. Bila dia belajar ada this inner speech ni? Masa bila dia belajar to have all this inner speech? Masa dia besar ke macam mana?
Dari kecil.
Dari kecil, betul. Dari kecil lah kita didik dia dan sebagainya. Mak dia asuh dia bercakap, sharing, semua-semua tu. Masa kecil tu adalah pula dia nak isap vape kan. Tapi all those sharing develop inner speech dia yang betul bila dia dah remaja, and this inner speech come back in the form of the right inner speech, and that prevented him from carrying out the wrong action. So that's why dari kecil itu kita kena banyak sharing all the good values untuk nak have the right message tu. Yeah. Okay, so we talk about message. Inilah message yang tulis dalam minda kita ni. Arwah Profesor, dia kata 2 jenis je message ni. Right and wrong message. Yeah. Right message adalah anything that bring you closer to your creator. Meaning anything that bring you closer to Allah is right message. Bukan anything that make you happy. That can be very subjective. This is an objective definition of right message. Anything that bring progress closer to your creator, that is right message. And the opposite would be wrong message. Anything that bring you away from your creator, closer to syaitan, that would be wrong message. So senang, anak pun tahu how to define it already. Because we are always writing messages at any time, things are being written in our mind, we are always a different person at any one moment. So no moment is the same for us. We are always a new person because we are exposed to influence. Either we move closer to Allah when we write messages, or we move closer to shaitan. Yeah. So any influence that come into us has an influence on us. That's why they kata every message has an impact greater than 0. And you're always a different person, a new person when you learn something new. It can be positive or closer or away from Allah. So this is how our total past learning history may look like. We look at yang tas ni adalah untuk anak kecil lah. Maybe low primary students. They have got lots of room to be writing messages. So parents must take this opportunity when the anak is young, to show good example, be a good model, share a lot of things so that they write the right message a lot when they are young. Jangan pula letak dia depan TV, bagi dia handphone, whatever from that they are watching on the phone too, will be writing messages. And a lot of the time will be negative, wrong messages that they write. Yeah, that's why handphones were too, or watching TV, all those things will be a bad influence lah. Talk about remaja will have a lot already of messages written. Macam ni lah, cluttered. Kalau banyak wrong message, that will be a problematic remaja. Yeah, because banyak sangat wrong message dari kecil sampai besar. When they are like this, can you still overcome or not the problem? I'm sure teachers will have will face with students who are problematic. That is because they have got a lot of wrong messages written from young, so they become bad behavior lah. Yeah. So how can we overcome this? Can you erase the message that is written? Can the message that are written be erased? The message that are written cannot be erased, but you can write a new message over the old one. You can write the correct message over the old wrong message. That can be done. So that's how we can overcome remaja, by having new message written, the correct one. Kalau dulu tak suka sekolah, maybe now suka sekolah after you have influenced the right way. Okay. Ini Arul Professor punya example, so I will also, just for you to appreciate lah, that we write message very easily, yeah. He always use this example. Ini apa? Kucing, gato. Kucing in Spanish is gato. Alright? What is kucing in Spanish? Gato, eh? What is kucing in Spanish?
Gato.
Gato. How do you know it's not there? Because you already wrote that message in your mind. You saw, you hear, and so now you know. But it's not there. But that's how you write message so fast. Yeah? Okay, gato ni, is it right message? Is it a right message or wrong message or neutral message?
Neutral.
Sebab tadi dua jenis je, right and wrong.
Hmm.
So apa? Right or wrong? Neutral.
No, wrong.
It is a right message because new knowledge that you learn.
Yeah.
Any new knowledge you learn will bring you closer to Allah. So it's right message.
Right.
How far do you move closer to Allah by knowing gato? Sikit sangat kan? But you move, yeah, closer to Allah. Okay. Oh, I've got 10 minutes. Macam mana habis? This is the basic or the fundamental law of learning. When something is followed, when you do something and you get a reward for it, then you will do more of that thing in the future. Yeah. When an act is followed by something that we like, which is a reward, so that act will tend to increase in rate and magnitude in the future. Maknanya, if what we do is followed by getting something we like, we will do more of that thing in the future. Boleh faham? Kalau you finish your maths homework, dapat RM1. And then you got another homework to do. Will you finish quickly? Yes, you finish quickly because you want another ringgit. Every time you finish, you get another ringgit. So you will do very quickly because you want that reward. Example macam tu lah, eh? The other part of the law of learning, when an act is followed by something you do not like, maknanya a punishment, then that act will tend to decrease in the future. You do something, you get punished. Will you do again in the future? You tend to not do it. Yeah, you tend to do it less. So that is the other part of the law of learning, or the fundamental law of learning. It has to do with reward and punishment. When you do something, you get a reward, you will repeat that same thing a lot more in the future. When you do something, you get punished, you will tend to reduce what you were doing. So this is, when you look at this reward and punishment, I'm sure what comes to your mind is, if you learn psychology, this operant conditioning that was introduced by B.F. Skinner. Yeah? Biasa tak? Familiar tak? B.F. Skinner is considered as the father of operant conditioning. I won't have time to cover all of it, that review paper, brief one, you can read to understand further. This operant conditioning is a learning process for behavior that occurs through reward and punishment. Um, it is also called this behavioral psychology or behaviorism. Just introduce you the term. If you come across this term, it is referring to operant conditioning that was discovered by Skinner. And I don't know whether, I'm sure you have come across this quote, types of operant conditioning, positive reinforcement, positive punishment, are the four of it. Yeah. Why do I introduce this operant conditioning? Because Khalifa method is based partly on this as well. But after that, there's a big difference between operant conditioning and Khalifa method. So you need to be able to see the similarities and also the difference, because behaviorism, ini Skinner, they developed the operant conditioning when he studied animal model. Yeah? And learning model of animal, dia ada dua influence sahaja, physical and social. Dia tak ada apa kat sini that human has. Human ada apa?
Inner speech.
Inner speech.
What is the other influence? Inner speech. Animal ada inner speech tak? Animal tak ada inner speech lah kan? Tapi Skinner, behaviorism, the model dia guna untuk nak predict behavior is the same model they use for animal. So problem tak? Problem lah kan? Sebab dia tak consider the inner speech, what goes on inside the human being. So behaviorism has got a lot of problem. Tadi kita dah cover how the difference is, but that basic law tu is very applicable. The strength of operant conditioning, the discovery of the role of reward and punishment in directing behavior in animal and human. What is problematic with behaviorism, they're only concerned about what they can see, observable behavior. They don't consider what goes inside the person. Thinking, emotion tu dia tak consider. Inner speech dia tak consider. So that is a big difference. And dia akan miss a lot of point kat situ. Yeah? And the other one that is problematic, the equate learning of human is the same as how animal learn. Of course, that one is also not true. So behaviorism has got a lot of problem. Tapi for Khalifa method, the first part of it about role of reward to reinforce the reward is what we also use to direct good behavior. So this one idiom to throw the baby out of the bath water. We cannot throw the whole thing lah about this operant conditioning. There is some truth to this strength, but then you have to see kat mana yang masalah dia. Okay. We talk about writing messages tadi kan in the mind. So whatever that you want to do, the key is to make your learning rewarding, yeah, and not punishing. Then only you write messages. The key to learning, because I have to go very fast now, is to make your learning rewarding. Oh? And goal in teaching learning is to direct our students to choose to do the right thing, because they have got free will. Then we want to direct them to choose to do the right thing. Yeah. So we want them to be good by choice. And this will not be achieved through operant conditioning, but it will be achieved through directed positive influence yang kita guna dalam Khalifa method. So this I will introduce now what we do in Khalifa method. Worldview, hold on to God-centered worldview, instill love for Allah and Rasulullah, yourself, perfect society, and the physical world. And then the 2 and 3 will be the part of the law of learning. Reinforce right action to behavior through reward. This is the fundamental law of learning too. Punishment, we have to go firm. Not punished, but we have to be firm without harshness. And we do kind discipline. So these 2 components make up directed positive influence. So we direct student behavior the goal for them to choose to do the right thing, and we direct through directed positive influence. Finally, the shaping process. Nanti if you have problem, you can call me to find out if you don't understand. Sebab saya nak kena go very fast with shaping process. Shaping is everything about us. Actually, we learn through shaping process, acquired through shaping. What is shaping? Shaping is, if you recall, when you were learning to write, when you were young, you don't terus tulis kan? You belajar step by step. Pegang pensel, sambung titik, ada garis putih, garis merah, and it takes you 2 years to be able to write a nice paragraph. That is shaping process in learning. Shaping kita define as series of small, progressive, rewarded step toward a goal. Ya, gambar tadi pun macam tangga kan? So, dia small step toward a goal. Small step, dia ada goal. The starting point is called baseline. To keep going, we need to have a reward to motivate to keep going. This is shaping process. Why small step? To arrive to a goal, we have to go step by step in a small way. So why is it that it has to be small step? Because we want to make sure that we berjaya capai, achievable. The step is achievable so that you can move on to the next one. In order to make it achievable, we make it small step lah. Macam masa mula nak belajar tu, sambung titik tu senang kan? Nak tulis pusing A, payah. So sambung titik tu senang bila buat kita suka. So you continue to do. Itu maksud small step. What is the role of reward in shaping process? To motivate, to keep going, to reinforce. If we stop halfway in the shaping process, what happened? Do we reach the goal or not? You won't reach the goal, right? So then shaping kita berjaya ke tak? Tak berjaya lah kan? So in order for the shaping process to be successful, you must continue until you reach the goal. So require apa kat situ? Require consistency, require istiqamah tak? You have to really keep going and not give up until you reach the goal. If you were to stop, you will not achieve. So to be able to be successful with shaping process, you must have the istiqamah and keep going until you reach the goal. So what is baseline? Baseline is starting point, the beginning, the situation in the beginning, whatever you start off with lah. And then that's the goal, yeah? So then in shaping process, kita kena identify a few components. Goal is one of the components in shaping process. We have got baseline. Apa lagi tadi? Small steps. Yeah? And tadi reward. And then apa lagi? Istiqamah tadi, ya? Consistency, require patience. And one more that require adalah planning. You need to have planning lah in order to do a good shaping process. Okay. Ini shaping process lah ni. Directed shaping, ya. Baseline dia apa? Ni baseline dia. Apa dia?
Susun, teratur.
Kasut tak tersusun. Tak teratur. This is the baseline lah. Keadaan sedia ada. What is the goal? That the shoes are arranged neatly all the time. So you can set out your shaping process, small step to achieve to this one. Yeah, we don't have time to go over. You can figure out how to do it yourself. And then along the way, you think how long you get from this situation to that situation? That situation. Berapa lama rasanya? Senang tak nak buat ni? It may take months and years to achieve this. So that's why kena istiqamah tu. Is this another example of directed shaping? From not knowing how to ride a bicycle, now you are able to ride very fast. So you go through shaping process. This you can relate code. You dah belajar yourself kan? How to ride a bicycle. How did you learn from not knowing and then boleh naik bicycle? Yeah? Also involve shaping process. This video nanti I will share this is a nice video on shaping. Tak sempat tunjuk lah kot. And then shaping pula ada dua jenis. Positive shaping and negative shaping. Yang kita dah belajar all this while will be positive shaping. We have got the road, the goal that we want to achieve. So we go like toward the right lah. Kanan. Ke kanan ni directed positive shaping. Shaping juga boleh laku secara tanpa sedar, unconscious, and go toward the left. Negative shaping. Yeah? Negative shaping ni kita bukanlah nak capai, tapi kita sampai ke situ tanpa sedar. Yeah? So you need to realize this as well, so that you prevent this negative shaping. Ini example dia. We have got the same component. There is asas mula, baseline. Negative shaping, they start out with a good behavior. They end up with a bad behavior. That's why they're negative. Yeah. Here tak boleh kata goal lah, it will be outcome. The role is like goal lah. You achieve something here. So asasnya dia suka di sekolah. And then something happen lah along the line. Slowly, sampai last dia tuang sekolah. Yeah. Small step juga, it doesn't happen right away. There must be some ganjaran that occur here as well, that move toward to get this playthrough ni. Yeah. Another example, this is also unconscious shaping. Apa ni? Anak tantrum, right? Biasa tengok ada anak tantrum ni. What is the baseline for this child? You think? Ini outcome dia ni ya, outcome dia, tantrum. Baseline dia apa?
Tak dapat apa yang dia nak.
Baseline keadaan asal dia apa? I said negative shaping start out with good behavior. It end up bad behavior.
Dia minta dengan baik.
Bukan. How was the child at the baseline point? Was he a tantrum child from the beginning? Tak. So what
No,
the baseline was what?
Baseline dia happy. Happy child.
Happy, well-behaved child. The happy, well-behaved child. But something happened that make in the end dia jadi tantrum. Yeah? Small step. Mak dia buat apa tak tahulah. Sampailah jadi tantrum child. And this is unconscious shaping. You figure out, because I don't have time to go over. This is another example, yeah? So what would be the baseline for this boy? Ni outcome dia ni. Baseline dia? Also a well-behaved boy yang tak ada addicted to the gadget lah. So outcome dia, and then something happen, dia jadi sini, ya? Okay, ni dah last ni ya. I hope you realize our life is a shaping process. Betul tak? Yeah? Our life itself is a shaping process. We are moving toward a goal. Yeah? For us, there are two choices. We cannot choose not to go, we have to go. But two places we can end up. Kat mana ni? Apa dia ni? What would be the goal for our life? Apa dia? Hijau ni apa? Syurga and neraka. This is the reality of our life. We are actually in our shaping process, moving toward sama ada syurga atau neraka. Yeah? And if you have got children, then you are also helping your children shaping process. Masa awal-awal tu ya. In the end, they will move on their own lah. But your basic guidance tu will determine whether they move toward paradise or hellfire. This is quite scary. When I learned about this, I was very, very careful about not just abandoning my children lah kan. Nak kena guide dia orang lah. Kalau tak, maybe they are moving toward hellfire. So something that is, I hope you also see lah, that this is something we need to consider, that every day we are shaping toward a goal and we want to shape toward paradise lah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry kena cepat sikit ujung tu. So I end with this. Teacher takes a hand, opens a mind and touches a heart. and that is your role. And I hope when you learn about this Khalifa method, it will help you to be a more effective teacher. Yeah. Okay. Dah lah 7 minit lebih. Pada, sorry ya. Okay. So I think ada apa-apa soalan, maybe you can get in touch with me je lah. Yeah. And I apologize that we are really short of time, but that's all the time that we have. So itu saja. I take my leave now and pass you